Hello and welcome to another episode of The Average EV. Today I'm going to be doing a 4-month review of my 2015 Tesla Model S 70. Let's get into it. All right, everybody, it is wickedly windy, so I'm gonna do a quick exterior and then I'm gonna hop in the car and go over everything. So sorry if there's a little bit of wind noise, but here we've got the Tesla Model S. When I picked it up, it wasn't perfect. It had chips. It's definitely got lots of paint issues, but it was good enough for me because I don't really care all too much about that. And it's worked out really, really nicely. Most notably, what's really cool about this car is that it does have the panoramic sunroof, and not only is it a panoramic sunroof, but it opens up. And I've never been the biggest fan of having a sunroof, moonroof that opens up, but I've actually enjoyed it. So that's been certainly a highlight of this car. Now, one thing I did want to talk about, which is cool about this car, is this car comes with Autopilot 1, and right there is the camera that makes Autopilot 1 work, and it's okay, and I'll talk about that when I get in the car. So like I said, it's really windy. That's my big walk around. I guess I could show the frunk really quick. If you're not too sure, you can take the key fob, hold up, there, it's a little blurry. There it is, and if you double press it, it pops the frunk, which is nice, and there it is. That's where I keep the charging cable. It's actually really big. Plenty of room to put stuff if you wanted to, and it goes back even further. Here, I'll show you there, and there has that nice little net. So now I got to close that by hand, push it in, it locks, and then real quick I'll show you the back here, and the same deal. If you double press the key fob, boop, boop, it opens up the rear. Ton of space, and I have my other video where I go over, I've been looking for that actually. Ton of space, a lot of space in here too. And like I was trying to say, I have a video where I go over everything, so I'm not really getting too in depth there. You can close the lift gate there, or again, you can double press, and that closes that. And then lastly, if you wanted to know, here's where the charge port is. If you hold the back of the car, there it is. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump in the car and then go over my other impressions. All right, everybody, so I'm back in the car. It is so windy out today. This is the worst day to pick to do this video, but hopefully you all got impressions. Again, I'll link my video to when I picked up the car and did the first initial review, and you can go ahead and look at that for all the other specifics about the car. So let me just give a couple quick things. This is the 2015 Tesla Model S. It's the 70 rear-wheel drive. It is not the 70D dual motor. So if you're looking for the dual motor, my driving impressions aren't gonna help you that much, but maybe a little bit. Second, this is a pretty specced out version. It has a leather seats, the Alcantara. It doesn't have the executive package. I think that's the only thing it really doesn't have. It does not have the air suspension. It has a regular suspension, and that's been a big thing with me because it's very, very stiff. And additionally, it's got the heated seats, heated steering wheel. The heated steering wheel is a little too hot for me. I actually had it on because it's really cold out because it's windy, and my hands were too warm and sweating, in fact. The back seats are heated as well, which is really nice. And this, I'll flip it around, but this does not have the upgraded MCU. It's the original one, which is honestly fine for me because I don't use it too much, but you can upgrade it if you want. I think it's in the really nice one's like 4,000. It's like 2,500 to 4,000. I think there's two different iterations you can get. You can correct me in the comments down below, but I'm pretty sure that's what my brother told me because he got his upgraded to the one, but not the other. And then that's really it with kind of the cool things about the car as far as the specs. So let's get into my experience about the car. So first off, when I first got it, I wasn't loving it, and I have started to enjoy it more. I think part of the reason why I was having that experience with the car is I know that this is a temporary car. And so I was having this feeling of like it's not mine. So I kind of got over that. I will eventually be getting rid of this car, as was always planned, but I have been enjoying it more. It certainly is comfortable. The seats aren't too bad. I'm sitting in them now. I feel relatively comfortable. I have some back issues, and this car does not aggravate my lower back, so that's always good. All right, so I'm gonna go over a few things that I'm not really a big fan of with this car. So the first thing, and it's not showing now, but I'll get this right down here, this notification that I'm having a left headlight issue or a right headlight issue. It kind of just depends on the day. And then I'll go look at the headlights and they're perfectly fine. And then eventually it will go away. So that's kind of annoying. But I've learned to live with it and just basically kind of ignore it whenever it occurs. That's fine. Another thing, and again, I can't really show you all, and I don't know if it's related to the cold or if it's random or whatever it is, but sometimes like the screen will be so unresponsive, like I can't even use it. So I'll just drive and like eventually it'll catch up. So again, I'm not sure if that is linked to cold weather, performance, which I think it might be, or if it's something else. It certainly is annoying. Occasionally I'll have to do the reset, where you push down these two wheels at the same time and it'll reset everything. But that was annoying. I don't like that you have to pay for premium subscription to have Spotify on board, but like I totally get it, because obviously that's using the the LTE to stream the music. So I get it, but I did like that, and I just don't want to pay $10 a month for something that I'm already paying whatever dollars a month for Spotify on my phone, if that makes sense. And it's the only thing I would really use. I do know you get the the better looking map and stuff like that, but it's not worth it enough for me to have to go ahead and get that. So just going through the controls here, let me see if I can find it. It was driving me crazy, and then I realized it was kind of my fault. Is it under vehicle? Maybe it's under charging. No. Sorry, I'm killing it here. Display. I'll find it. Energy saving. Apparently energy saving was turned on, and basically every time I started my car, it took forever to even be able to drive, and that's because this was on. And so I turned it off, and now that made that completely go away for me, and much improved my experience when driving the car. Another thing I don't really like about this car, it's kind of a weird thing, but it's a like but then don't like because it doesn't really work very well, is the memory seats and the easy entry. And you kind of have to sit up if I like change the memory or whatever to make it get back to where it's supposed to be. And the easy entry is really nice, but like I said, if you don't like sit up as it comes back in, it doesn't reset it to your exact settings, and then it's annoying. So again, it was like a cool thing that if it worked well would be great, but it doesn't work well, so it is what it is. But that hasn't ruined my experience with the car. Another thing, and I don't know if y'all can hear because it's windy, but I actually get a lot of noise from the windows. I didn't at first, but I had a handle issue, which we'll talk about later, and they fixed it, and it seemed to make it worse. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but that has definitely been an annoyance for me with this car. Okay, so another thing I don't really like here about the Tesla Model S, at least this generation, 2015, is the Autopilot. It's not great. On the highway, it's fine, but it's not great. So let me explain why I don't like it a lot. And I know that Autopilot has improved. I have driven a car that has Hardware 3, and it actually, Hardware 3 still has some of the same issues that I experienced on Autopilot 1, but obviously not as worse. So first things first, I hate that every time you have to engage it beeps. If I'm going to be honest, I've never checked to see if you can turn it off, but I doubt you can for safety reasons. So that's really annoying. It pulls or I guess it stays too far to the left lane. I've complained about this before. I just don't love that. I like to be right in the center of the lane. I like that the ID4 allows you to set left, center, or right. I like that the Model S with the Autopilot has where it will adjust to other cars as they're going by you, but I really think that it's just way too delayed, because I'll see the sensors pick up the car after the car's gone by me and then adjust me, which is not very helpful in my opinion. So that's that. I have a ton of disengagements when dealing with the car. With Autopilot, I'll feel sometimes it's like pulling me into the lane, and like it really will, like it'll go over the line, and I'll have to adjust. Phantom braking happens a lot. Sometimes it'll think like if I'm driving somewhere, and maybe like a car is parked or whatever, it'll think that it's gonna come out in front. I guess it's not necessarily Autopilot, but if a car is parked, it'll think that the car is going to pull out in front of me. I'm going to hit it, so then it'll like, which is kind of annoying. It's a little sensitive, but I guess I'd rather be more sensitive than not. But it's assist somewhere in general. I don't feel comfortable trusting it. Like I don't really trust it so much that I don't really use it that often. I try to use it just so I can give comments on it, but it's definitely a Gen 1 ADAS. Advanced Driver Assistance System, but it's. I think most people, if you're going to use it, it'll be fine on a highway, and you'll enjoy it. But it just I don't like it as much as Travel Assist, and I know that's controversial, but that's where I stand when it comes to Autopilot 1. All right, so those are all my biggest issues. Really not a ton. It's overall been a fine car, and I have eventually been enjoying the experience. As much as some other EVs, I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure out my opinions about all these different cars. So anyways, let's get into things I really enjoy about this car. I do really enjoy the route planning. I was able to take my boomerang challenge with this car, and the route planning worked perfect, and it was almost always accurate. And worked out really nicely. So I have enjoyed that. And I think what's important about that is given that this car definitely has some sort of battery degradation. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's like 8%, maybe 10%. It's not terrible. But yeah, so it's still accurate given the fact that the battery is degraded from when it was brand new, which is really, really nice. I really enjoyed this driver review. Here we've got the consumption there, which I really enjoy watching go by, and you can adjust it. Oh, there we go. You can adjust it to be the past 15 miles, 30 miles. There's a smaller one too, but I like 30 miles the best. It gives me a nice, good idea. I like that it shows how much regen the battery can take, and this is like right now this is based on temperature, so I know the battery's cold, so that's nice. I like that you have the music here, or you can change it. Also here, let me route somewhere for fun. Let's go to Costco. I like that it will right there show you where you need to go and show you all the directions, which is really cool. I like that about the Polestar. I think does that too and looks really, really nice. Again, I enjoy the route planning, and it's nice and snappy, works there, looks great. Another thing I really like about this car that, shockingly, I never thought I would enjoy is I do actually like the sunroof, moonroof. Like I said earlier, I'm not usually a big fan, but it is kind of nice to have it. And then the fact that you can open it up is even better, especially if you're like sitting at a Charger and it's like a beautiful day. You can just pop it open all the windows, get some fresh air. And yeah, it makes for a really nice, enjoyable in-cabin experience here when you're in the Tesla Model S. I do enjoy the power and the driving experience there. I was going to talk about this a little bit later. Maybe I will still, but when you accelerate, it's pretty good. Again, these are this is actually an induction motor, and I'm used to driving cars that have permanent magnet motors, so it's a little bit different, but it's still nice and zippy. You can definitely tell it's rear wheel drive, you know, based on how it pulls, but I'm able to get up to speed nice and quick, which is really nice. The handling is really phenomenal, actually, especially driving on curvy roads. I have a lot of those roads that I deal with, you know, where I live, and it's a pleasurable driving experience. I would definitely say than my Kona, way better driving experience as far as that concerned. Compared to the ID4, like handling, it probably handles a little bit better than the ID4, especially because this is like a sportier car. Anyways, acceleration's way better, obviously, than the ID4. So yeah, definitely a nice driving, especially given how old it is, and it's kept up nicely, and given the market and how competitive you know, cars are with the acceleration, I still think this holds up if you're looking for a zippy car, if I'm being honest. So that kind of rounds out all my, you know, big favorite things and not so favorite things here about the 2015 not Volkswagen, Tesla Model S. Another thing that I do really enjoy about Tesla, and this, you know, is obviously true of new Teslas as well, is the app. The app is awesome. You can adjust charging, you can turn it on, you can do climate, you can do all these amazing things. And honestly, that experience, I haven't had that with anything else. The ID4 app is terrible. The Hyundai app actually improved a lot over time, and unfortunately, I lost the Hyundai too early for me to really make a video showing that the app had improved. It has a lot of the same features and functions as the Tesla app, but it just doesn't work as quick, which is, you know, annoying. But yeah, this Tesla app, it's awesome. Really enjoy using it. And when I don't have the Tesla anymore, that's something I am going to deeply miss. I'm hoping some of these other manufacturers can kind of catch up to Tesla when it comes to the usefulness and functionality and really responsiveness of the app. Okay, so now I want to talk about the charging. I didn't put this in a negative or positive because I knew what I was getting into when I bought this car. But I do have to talk about it. The charging is not great. You can check out my Boomerang, where I do a ton of charging on that. It's fine enough. If you just need it's a daily cruiser, like, hey, you're going to plug in at home most of the time and you'll be fine. Or if you do need to charge out in public, you can still go out, charge in public, chill out for a little bit, and then come home if you want to do that. But it does not charge quick. I don't remember the exact time, but it was like in the 40 or so minutes to get up to 80%. It peaks at around like 111, 115-ish, but for like a hot second. And then it kind of slows down. So it's definitely not the fastest charger, but, you know, I wanted to be full disclosure about that. So if you're looking for a fast charging vehicle, don't get this one. Maybe get a later generation Model S or Model 3. But this, if you're looking for a really nice, like I said, pretty comfortable, luxury-ish car on the cheap, I mean, this is for you. Hey everybody, I just left and I remembered there was one other thing I wanted to talk about, and it was my service experience. I was having this issue where my handle wouldn't present. And you know, I know that's an issue with these cars, so I put in a service request. It was gonna be like $300, $400, $500 some dollars. I forget what the quote was. And honestly, I had a really amazing service experience. So the Tesla service guy, he came to my work. He fixed it, and from what I could see, it ended up just being, I think that they had already retrofitted a new handle, and there was some kind of issue with the handle. So he just fixed it, and I actually didn't pay a dime. He fixed it for free, so which was really incredible. And honestly, for being the only servicing I've ever had to do with the car, awesome. So that is one thing that these, you know, other OEMs can't really compete with, and the dealerships too, obviously, because of the dealership model, is the service aspect of Tesla. I mean, it was incredible, and just the icing on the cake, just the fact that I didn't even have to pay to get it fixed is just something. So that was awesome. He was very responsive, and He sent me text message updates, so that was really awesome. So really enjoyed the service experience with Tesla. So now I'm going to give my final thoughts about the car after 4 months of ownership, and then kind of what I would say to you all. So I like the car. Like I said, it's luxury-ish, which is nice. I've never had a car of this high of quality, I guess you could say. But it does have all these little minor issues, some minor issues with the software. The charging's not the best. The suspension, if you don't get the air suspension, is not fantastic. So as far as comfort, that's not super comfortable. But all in all, it's a fine car. And if you want to pick one up cheap and you want a Tesla, it's a good way to do it. Would I recommend this car? I've been thinking about this. If you're like dead set on a 2015 Tesla Model S, I don't think you're going to be miserable in it. Let me put it that way. But I would probably push you to find, if you want to do Tesla, I would try and find maybe a Model 3, an older Model 3 instead, because of the charging and stuff like that. You'll still get all of the technical and the app stuff and the power, but you'll have a car that maybe if you wanted to road trip or something like that, you could do it a lot easier. Not that you can in this one, but you could do it a lot easier. I think that with the price and what you get as far as what I call the EV stuff, I think it might be better to go for a Model 3. Now, that also being said, if you don't care about what make or model you're in, there are other brands that I think would serve the same purpose if you're just looking for a cheap daily commuter car, and that this one probably wouldn't be the best bet. And those cars might even have a little bit more palatable charging as well, like the Hyundai Kona, like a Niro. I mean, you can get ID4s sorry, the wind is like super crazy right now. You can get ID4s like exceptionally cheap, but I know that car is pretty controversial when it comes to people, especially the older ones with some issues that it's been having in the software. And yeah, I think you could look and find some other cars that are now cheap because prices have just dropped out for all these EVs. So again, that's really all I have to say about this car. I like it. Some people thought I was a little negative about it earlier. I like it. If I could turn back time, would I get a different car? I would. I probably wouldn't have gotten this one. Maybe I would have went for the Bolt instead because of, like I said, the EV stuff. At the time I was buying, the Model 3s just weren't quite at the price I wanted. Now I probably could have picked up a Model 3 instead, and then I probably would be having a different video right now saying, yeah, you should definitely buy a used Model 3. So that's all I have to say. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like I said, I have changed a little bit on this Tesla Model S over time, so that's a good thing, I think. And I'd love to hear your comments down below, what you thought. If maybe you got one, are you considering one? Did I change your opinion? Leave that down below. As always, please remember to give a like, a subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will catch you all next time.